Now, as a massive fan of retro games, one of my favourite pieces of software is emuvr. One, it's very versatile, enabling you to play lots of different systems and games, but also you're inside a 90s retro environment which is actually customizable. And for me, it's always been one of the best ways to experience nostalgic gaming. But unfortunately, that is only locked to PC VR. And I've never found anything on Standalone VR that comes close, but that is until today. I got early access to RetroGameDev, and this app doesn't just let you play a bunch of retro consoles, it actually lets you create your own games. Right now it's in early access, enabling you to make Commodore 64 games, but you can also play a ton of other retro consoles too. And it's honestly been one of the coolest and easiest ways I've come across to play retro games in VR. And RetroGameDev is available right now on the Quest Store for $18 or £15, and I've had an incredible time jumping between the Sega Master System, the Nintendo Entertainment System, Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, N64 and PlayStation 1. And it's not just the immersion of this software that's impressive, it's the little details that really make it stand out, and the developer is clearly just getting started. There are two main screens that you can play on, which you can instantly swap between by clicking the right stick. You'll also have access to a Game Boy, and this is a pixel-perfect screen. The visuals throughout are super high resolution and look simply stunning. But what sells the immersion is the spatial audio and the mixed reality. When you pick up the virtual Game Boy, it not only looks like you're holding a real Game Boy, it sounds exactly like one too. Then when you switch over to the big CRT with the large speakers, the audio suddenly fills the room and has really deep bass. It genuinely feels like you're actually sitting in this environment. There's also lots of nice customization. You can toggle authentic scan lines on or off, and the controls work great for 99% of the games I tested today. You can also switch between day and night mode. Now I personally prefer nighttime, but in the environment, certain games that are made pretty dark anyway, like Alien Trilogy on the PS1, is pretty hard to see. So I'm hoping the developer adds the ability to turn nearby lights on and off simply by pointing at them and clicking them on and off, because personally I play my games in an environment that's as dark as possible. Another nice touch is the mixed reality support, and I actually found this the most immersive way to play the games. Seeing this 80 and 90s CRT in your play space is pretty mind-blowing, and they all have different sizes, and one of them is absolutely massive. And the sound again changes to the environment and feels extremely realistic, and anytime you can switch to play those games on a Game Boy, and doing this in your own play space is actually incredible. And overall, this has been one of the best retro experiences I've ever had in VR. You can also choose to darken the environment, which I think is an extremely nice touch and adds to the immersion so much more. The way you can play your games, now blended into your real room, is pretty staggering. But the biggest strength of RetroGameDev is how easy it is to install these games. Assuming you already have the ROMs, because I obviously can't help you with that, the process is incredibly simple. If you do get stuck, we do have a community Discord, and I'll leave a link to that in this video's description if you get stuck. In the app, just click Add Games, and it'll give you an IP address. Make sure your PC and Quest are on the same network, then type that IP into your browser. You'll also get a PIN code, which you need to enter, and then you simply just upload your ROMs. The app automatically sorts them out into the right categories, and then when you click play, it downloads the correct cores. Getting everything set up, even with some big PlayStation 1 games which were over 600 megabyte, took me less than 20 minutes. In my opinion, RetroGameDev is something every Quest owner should try. I've already lost hours playing through so many games today, and the presentation I feel is flawless. It's one of the sharpest looking experiences on the Quest right now. You can also turn on power saving mode, and this basically turns off the super sampling to save your battery, because if you do have this turned on, it does very quickly drain your headset, especially when you're using mixed reality along with the super sampling. But this is where the BoboVR head strap and its extra batteries really comes into its own. I was able to play this for 3 straight hours before I needed to swap. To me, this is an app we should all be keeping an eye on, because soon we'll be able to make our own NES games and more, and I've got no doubt that Sega Mega Drive or Genesis will be added soon, making this a must-own Quest experience. If you want to save 10% on this game or any other game on the Quest Store, simply use my code GTVR. And I hope some of you check this out, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts down in the comments section. Well, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you to anyone who leaves a like and subscribes to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.
Never defeat and draw!